Good evening, and how's it going, everyone? All right, back again tonight. Actually, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Oops, sorry, squeaky chair. I have been super busy painting stuff, editing videos, and crafting molds, casting tea lights. If you follow my Facebook at all, you've seen a couple of those updates, but yeah, I've been working my butt off. So tonight, this is what I'm going to be working on. This is another one of my Dollar Tree crafts. I picked these up. They come in a set of 3. So I got 2 packs. These have been prepped. I did this earlier today with just a polyurethane gloss varnish. I did both sides of that with a double coat. So it did darken these up just a little bit. And I'm going to attempt to do all 6 of them at once. Doesn't seem hard at all, does it? Now, I was going to make 2 sets of these, but I decided against it. I decided that I'm just going to go for 1 set. And I tell you, my inspiration tonight was not my own, okay? I did find an absolutely beautiful piece out there that I loved, and I'm not going to be recreating it dot for dot, but probably using many of the same patterns. It's going to be kind of simple. I want to keep this kind of neutral. So as far as colors go, we're going to go with white. I'm going to go with gold, the glorious gold in this case, and not my champagne gold that I'm so used to. And then I might throw in the salted caramel. I kind of wanted just to do the gold and the white, right? But I thought the caramel might also kind of look nice, and that's just because it matches the wood pretty well. I'm going to start off with these 2 and kind of see what it looks like once they actually get onto the wood, and see if I'm okay with just the gold and the white. I sort of like the idea of a shimmer here. These are actual ornaments. I presume that they'll be used on a tree, right? You never know what people might want to do with them, but I think neutral is pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to load up gold. You get it shaken just a little. Okay. Now, I am not going to be using any grid lines. I have a nice center here. The wood grain has thankfully done that. Because the shapes are not perfectly circular, I think it's going to be beautiful and probably even better if I follow the wood grain and not trying to make it really centered. I'm perfectly happy and actually glad if it's a little off center, if it's a little bit more wonky. I think that's just gonna give it a more natural appeal. And so I was thinking about doing an 8 for the middle, and I think I might do 8.5. All right, so let's dig in. Move my tools over just a little bit so I have a smidge more room. Okay, and I apologize up front. I have all of these on my Lazy Susan, and I'm just going to be rotating through them. Hopefully nobody gets dizzy. Now my expectation, and I'm already seeing this just a little bit, I did do 2 very generous coats of the polyurethane on this. I do think that's going to help make sure that the dots are not going to just absorb. Makes it always a little bit more difficult that way. But you can kind of see the edges. They don't look precisely circular. They're still soaking just a little bit. Okay. All right, let's get into a 1.5. right, and as I get in here, just want to say hello everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Again, I'm going to try to do as much of these as I can tonight. Don't know that I actually expect to get all 6 of them completed, but we'll get close. I considered actually resin coating these because I knew that that definitely would give me that real nice flat surface. So I already know that this is going to be just a little harder. It's not going to look, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is here. Extra clean, really clean, because the dots aren't going to be expertly round. All right, I'll move this up just a little bit. I always have a tendency to pull things towards me. And I don't want this hanging off the edge of your screen. It's not bad so far. I said everything feels just a little bit wonky, but the other brown that I had picked up, the salted caramel, debating on really whether I want to use that or if I just want to stick with the gold. If you're dropping by, let me know what you think, if you can actually see the gold well enough. Once I get these on here, these small white dots, then I'm going to do a layer of the gold, so that'll be a little more obvious. Okay. I'm a little more hesitant than usual to drop another color on it, just because if I decide that I don't like it, it's not going to come off. All right. What do I want to do here? Maybe a 4? It's probably better. Okay. And this is so shiny. I'm sure it doesn't show up all that well on camera, but trust me, it's all glimmery. Okay. Sounds like I might have lost you guys for a second. I apologize if I did. I'm always curious with these well, not even just this, but the Dollar Tree items. What do you guys use these for, right? Because they're sold as ornaments. And I actually have been doing the coffee mugs. The little, they're actually make your own ornaments, I think is how they market them. And since they have a hole in them, I suppose, you know, they are technically ornaments. But like, for example, the coffee mugs, I was looking at those and I'm like, wow, you know what? Those would actually make really nice bookmarks because they are very, very thin. I was even thinking about using them perhaps, well, if I had resin coated them, maybe I would have used them for coasters, you know, or maybe like a banner, something like that. With these especially, I don't really know what else you would use them for. That feels a little extra wonky. All right. I know it's going to turn out beautiful anyways, so. Hopefully I'm not making anybody dizzy. Seems like every time I'm like, oh yeah, that was a really beautiful walk there, I run into the green. Just dotting like normal and it's different. Oops. So I think I will also make sure that the backs of these are done in the same pattern. If somebody really was to use them as an ornament, like a tree ornament, I would hate for it to only be one-sided. Have to pay more attention to the tool sizes that I'm picking up here so we can get that duplicated on the back. Now I want to get some swooshes in here. Let me grab my tool. Change this up just a bit. Thinking we probably want that a 3. You know what? I have a feeling that it's going to be real fun to do swooshes on this. So instead of using my tool method, I'm going to go back to my 1 tool. Oh, I have some paint all over this. And I'm actually going to get a hold of my 3. These are the nail art tools. Got some paint on here I'm going to get off real quick. And so that should be the 3 end. That should be okay. But first, let's get a header dot here. And for any of these that are going to go into that hole, like this one, that's fine. I'm just going to take the pattern right over it. And if the pattern that I'm working doesn't exactly fit, then I'm just going to let it go out to the edges and fill up whatever space it fills, because these are all different sizes. And since obviously the natural rings of the wood are not going to be dead center, I know that's going to happen, and I'm happy with that. I'm perfectly fine just letting it do whatever it wants to do. Okay, oh, got them all. Let's get that one put away, and let's go into some swooshes here. Let me take a peek. That should, yeah, I think that'll be okay. All right, here we go. Cross your fingers for me. Okay. Needs a real good loaded up tool here. Okay. It's even harder than I expected it would be. It's a good challenge. Super, super light touches here. Trying my best just to let the paint kind of float. It's having a tendency to, want to grab onto the ridges. Okay. There. Might have even been better with a brush. Hopefully these are visible. The gold really does blend back in. I'll take a look after the stream is over here and make sure that it's good enough quality, and so we can post that later. Okay. Ooh. That one really caught the edges, didn't it? Okay. All right, wipe off my tool. Should have got a fresh surface. We're getting there. Might even need some more gold paint in my palette here soon enough. I knew I would be using extra tonight, but not that much extra. Got them all there. Phew. I'm glad that part is over with. These are really beautiful, but very hard to work with. Okay, so let's see. Let's fill a little space in here. One of the interesting things about doing 6 things all at once is that by the time I get back to the first one, the paint has dried. That doesn't happen often. Okay. There. Checking my sizes here. It's 5. Get that more or less centered. I really need to get some additional white in here now. Let's see. Funny how that worked out, that the hole on a couple of these is right where that gold dot would have ended up. It's perfect. All right, so see if I can get another layer of walked dots in here. That one's gonna go right off the edge. Like I said, I certainly hope some of this shows up because I know it blends in pretty well. Oh, last one. Okay. I was thinking I was already finished. Now I did want to put in another swoosh here and in white. Let me take a quick peek here. Let's see. I don't really have enough room. I'm looking at all of these, and I would have actually liked to do another row of the walked dots, but I just don't know that I am going to have enough room to. So let's go back to the 3 here. Okay. Let's try this with the white. Okay. Let that just kind of fall off. We'll get some more stuff on this piece and touch this up after. I feel like it knows what it wants to do, and it's kind of just doing it. I'm gonna let it, I guess. Like I have a choice. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, some of these are definitely coming out better than others, but the key is definitely to get the tool really heavily loaded and then just like don't even touch the surface. There are some ridges on here that actually just kind of stick up. So no matter how light I am, it's still catching on them. So that's That's interesting. I suppose this must be what it's like to do the records, to do vinyl. If you hadn't, you know, painted over or resined it first. Okay. All right, so there's that part. Just kind of considering my options here, and I'm going to try some micro dots on this side. Okay, to get them all? Yeah, got them all. Nice. And I think I'm gonna go opposite. Let's see, maybe 2.5. 2.5. Can add a little bit more gold to my palette here. I would love to do some more swooshes on this piece and fill in the spaces with them, but I just don't think they're turning out well enough. So we'll find a different way to do that. And then once this dries, maybe even by the time I get back to this side, I'll probably take the gold and then put a top dot on these large white ones. A little bit more on my palette here. That should help everything kind of come together a little more. To me, it feels just a little bit messy still. Bit disoriented. This one is definitely the small one of the bunch. I noticed when I was pulling these out of the bag that it appears that the set of 3, that they each had something like a small, medium, and large size. So you didn't have 3 that were all the same size. I don't know if that was on purpose or just accidental, but... Right, let me get this wiped off here. Doesn't look like it's quite dry enough yet. not really. So what I can think about, let's see. I have some extra space on some and not much on the other, so I don't want to get too more intricate or too much more intricate on the patterns because then it's just going to look kind of funny. It's going to lose its consistency real fast that way. So I'm going to give these a little bit longer to dry. And then I want to double check and make sure that this is actually looking okay. Okay, yeah, I don't think it's gonna dry as quickly as I'd like it to. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the top dots on while you guys are hanging out with me here. I was hopeful, you know, it's a nice warm night. Just thinking maybe. But that's okay. You know, it's not that big of a deal. I will go ahead and wrap this up now then, and then I'm gonna come back in a little while, and all I'm gonna do is